Hey Cardfighters, Chris here from Vanguard Central bringing you an Asura Kaiser deck profile. For the starter, we have a Mirio, who's the grade 3 searcher. This is because we definitely want an Asura Kaiser Vanguard, and even though there's only one non-Asura grade 3, we can't really afford any risks. So that's why we have him. The other starter that's in contention will be Runnable, which is the Extreme Battler starter. But I felt like I never really needed that extra stand behind the column, so I'd rather guarantee having another grade 3 to stride with, especially since the deck doesn't have stride fodders. For the stride zone, we have 4 of the Asura Kaiser stride, obviously just the most powerful play in the deck, with the exception maybe of Victoplasma. Just restanding 4 of your rear guards and they're all gaining power is just insane. Because the deck is built mainly around this, all the rear guards are power gaining rear guards rather than effect rear guards, so this is just absolutely monstrous if you hit it. The backup we have is 2 Vic-10, provides some on-hit pressure as well as getting a standoff if you hit, so that's pretty good. It can force your opponent to PG it or bait your opponent into PGing it, and then leaves them open for Asura Kaiser plays or for the 2 Victoplasmas, which is going to help get off. This is really a good card if your opponent's playing Link Joker. They lock you out, but you still have a restanding Vanguard. It can definitely close out games really well. And if your opponent was hit to a high damage with Asura Kaiser a lot earlier than they were expecting it, they might not have enough to guard Victoplasma. For grade 3s, we have 4 Immortal Asura Kaiser. This is going to be the ideal ride. And that's because he has a really good strong Limit Break 4 effect, which definitely synchronizes with the deck, being able to restand himself as well as one other rear guard. Going to give you some power plays just in case you can't get that stride going. Immortal is also a cross ride for the base Asura Kaiser, so we're also running 4 of that to help get the Asura Kaiser name. And he's also good if you ride him early. It can be very good for some early game plays, allowing all your grade 3s to become stand triggers effectively, adding some extra pressure to your opponent, maybe get some extra attacks off. The last grade 3 we run is 1 Muscle Shriek. In the worst possible case that you actually have to ride him, you can Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1 and destroy one of your opponent's rear guards, which can be very, very helpful. And maybe sometimes you'll use it against Revengers to kill Judge Battle, kill important starters, something like that. For the grade 2s, we have 4 Cool Hank. Cool Hank's going to let you get off extra multi-attacks and be the main source of Counterblast usage in this deck, given that the strides don't really counterblast that much except for Victoplasma. We have 4 Daredevil Samurai. He's one of the key cards in the deck, gaining plus 3,000 every time one of your Nova Grapplers stands, whether it's the Vanguard or another rear guard. So when you get Asura Kaiser's ability off, you're standing 4 rear guards, so he's going to get plus 12. So by himself, that's 21, not including any boosting you have, which is just pretty insane, right? So sticking with the power gaining theme, we have 4 Extreme Battler Sazanda, who's going to get plus 5 every time you stand. So not quite as devastating on the Asura Kaiser plays as Daredevil Samurai is, but can be much more devastating when combined with Cool Hank or with Vic-10. For the grade 1s, we have 4 Perfect Guards. They're not the unflipping Perfect Guards, the reason being the deck doesn't actually use a whole lot of Counterblast, and if you don't even draw Cool Hank, then you basically have no ways to use Counterblast. So you have no need for that unflip, and it's also really nice to protect your rear guards in such a rear guard reliant deck. So more power, we have Bear Down Samurai, the same effect as Daredevil Samurai, gonna get plus 12,000 whenever Asura Kaiser the Strides effect goes off, just hitting for those huge numbers. And even more power is Final Wrench, letting a unit that stands in the same column as him get plus 4,000. So if you notice so far, the deck is all about power, and that's just because it gives you consistency. Everything you play is going to be useful when you hit that Asura stride. For the triggers, we have 4 critical. This actually helps you unflip damage sometimes. Not super useful, but can definitely be useful. And then we have 2, 5, 8 draw. And then you're gonna be like, whoa, Chris, you're crazy. Why are you running 8 draw? And the reason is because Asura Kaiser, that effect that stands 4 units, and if you have the right field, all those units are standing at 30k plus columns. You don't really need a ton of crits to kill your opponent, and so you really want to make sure you have the units to stand. And that's why I run the 8 draw, to make sure I have that full field. I have all the cards I need to really finish off my opponent with the power columns. And lastly, we have 4 heals. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the Asura Kaiser deck profile. Please comment down below if you have any questions, any thoughts about the deck. Please give us a like, it helps out a lot. And as always, subscribe for more content. Vanguard Central, out.